All right, this is the Charter Review Commission Process Committee meeting for May 11th, 2011. It's 10:33, I guess. We're scheduled to go till 12 noon. We'll see how that works. We will stop at about around 10 minutes, between quarter till 12 and 10 minutes to 12 for comment from the public. And I ask members of the committee that if I get up to that point and kind of forget, just please remind me. It's not your responsibility, it's mine, but let me know if that happens. Before we get started, one matter I want to take up, and that is that Sharon has joined us now for several meetings. Okay, and that's a big plus. And I'm wondering if Sharon feels caught up enough and competent enough if we can make her a regular voting member of the committee. What do you think about that, Sharon? Do you feel like you're caught up enough with the issues, et cetera, that we can do that?
I think so.
All right, well then we're going to do that. Sharon, you're an official voting member of the committee now, and welcome aboard.
Thank you. I probably will be leaving a little bit early today. I put it in the chat, but thank you very much.
You see that? We make her a member, and already I've got to leave early. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys are important, but not too important.
This is going to be a great upbeat day, I think, because of all the progress we got made, some things that got straightened out last week about exactly what we were doing. And so now we have part 2 of looking at that, and then maybe the findings if we can get to them. First of all, assuming everyone got a chance to look at the minutes, are there any suggestions regarding changes in the minutes?
I move they be approved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Thank you so much. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Aye.
I wasn't clear if Kyle was raising his hand for discussion or voting on the minutes.
For discussion, if you can hear me, I didn't review them, so I'm going to abstain from the vote.
I understand. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. So we are. It's not unanimous. There's one. Well, it is unanimous if you view unanimity in that way, which according to Robert's rules you can do. If there's one abstention and everybody else votes in favor, you can view that as unanimity. That's a hard word to say for me at any time of the morning. So we're going to ask the people who are guests here to remain muted with your video portion turned off until we tell you, hey, it's time for public comment. And you all have been through the drill pretty much. And we will take public comment at that time. All right. If there isn't anything else, I think we should launch right into completion of the Bill of Rights. Let me say that I, in looking at all of this, thought that I think I told you in the memo that I sent out that I thought that Liz had really struck on something using the three titles for who we were addressing, and that it would make it a plainer and more straightforward if we said, these groups, these three. Let me go back and look at what specifically the language was. Yeah, all people, ecosystems, and natural communities. If we use those three and say these people, or not people, these communities, these groups have this right, and this right, then it really is an organizationally works well. Doesn't have to be that way. If you guys want to keep it organized in the way that we have it organized, can do,
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't get my email.
Well, I guess I did, but I'm looking at the draft preamble, that she sent out last that I downloaded so I can see, but I can't see where that's in there.
All right. In my,
I guess
And this
I'll
is,
go
I guess-
look at your email. I've read them all, I think, unless it went to my junk mail, which happened yesterday. But,
well, I'll tell you that my idea was to keep exactly what Liz had in there. I didn't stray off and create a different right or cross out this right or whatever. It's just a different way to organize it. And it's only one way. It's just that my brain thinks like that. And so I said, well, I'll offer this to the committee and see if they like it, and if you don't, we can keep the organization the way that it is. But I think, Liz, did you say that you had this so that it could be shared?
I have your doc queued up, yes.
Yeah, well,
I have both of them queued up so I can. go-
yeah,
okay, so then you
Yeah.
can share that and I can compare it with what I've got from Liz.
Yeah.
right. Why don't you, so you have that in front of you? Because
Yeah, I
that's what we
downloaded-
need to do. Is it possible, Liz, to put both documents side by side?
I can give it a try.
It's the
So-
second page, your second page, and then
Yeah.
my proposal.
Yeah, so in another meeting, I was able to easily move between documents, and so let me see if that is so today.
Okay, there is the first page of your
Right, so
document. We need the second page because we've pretty much said yes on the first page, from what I
we
recall.
left off, Bob, as I understand, this last sentence in yellow.
Uh-huh.
There was something that we were gonna, that was incomplete with that. And then
Oh,
here,
okay.
here is, so this is our doc. And then what I did is I simply pasted what Bob has proposed, right?
Oh,
where
yeah,
we
I see.
get
I
it.
see.
Okay,
Right.
so
And
it's here,
that-
I can cut and paste from here. I should be able, as we move forward, to work between the two pretty easily.
okay.
Mr. Chair, can I have a
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the yellow highlighted text was wording that the Justice and Equity Committee was going to offer,
Yes.
if people recall. So I sent about an hour ago some proposed language for that right of recognition section. I also proposed a modest adjustment to one sentence in the right to adjust government. And so I just sent that email at about 9:30. I don't know if you all got that.
I see. I for one have not seen it, but since it's in this portion that I thought we had resolved, it's perfectly legit that we can go back and do that. So I would suggest that we go back to the first page then and finish it off and then go on to this business in the second page. So we got it right up there, right to adjust government. What are the changes in the just government section, Jane, that you proposed? And is this from actual language that your other committee has used?
Yeah, actually, more specifically, it's from the San Juan County Resolution number 31, 2020 is where I drew the language from, which we will be using as an important foundational document for our Justice and Equity Committee work. And I think it's important that there is consistency. Did anybody read my email by any chance? I know I sent it quite at the
Jane,
last minute.
Jane, I
I'm
did, how is it titled so I can pull it
Yeah,
up?
it's,
What's the title on the email?
You've got it right there, don't you?
I don't know if that's.
Proposed justice and equity wording for the Declaration of Rights and Responsibilities for discussion.
Proposed.
Oh, that's not it.
If
Okay.
you all see it before I do, oh, here it is. All right, here, so here it
I-
is.
I have it in front of me, Bob. I printed it out. It's the insertion in right to adjust government, starting with that one. The second line, insert the words free from discrimination, comma, equitable, comma, inclusive, comma, and then strike participatory, and then going on exactly as we have it.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, but that didn't mean a lot to me without the thing in front of me.
I don't mind,
know.
yeah.
Here it
given
is.
that-
Jane.
Type it
There
in
we
the
are.
chat. Someone
That's
type it
it.
in the chat.
Okay,
Here
there it
everybody.
is.
Just
There it
give me a
is.
moment and so,
So, okay.
So can I just provide some background information on this?
Sure, go
before
ahead,
we
Jane,
start diving
please.
into it? Because there was a rationale for my putting this together in this manner.
Please.
So I sent that email at 9:15 this morning. I didn't get a chance to go over it with Sharon and Kyle, but I came up with this based on where we ended up with our meeting yesterday. our Justice and Equity Committee meeting yesterday and our discussion of our proposed amendments and findings. And it's very clear to all of us that our work really does need to draw a clear linkage back to the San Juan County Resolution number 31, 2020 passed last year, which is committing the governance, it's titled SJC Resolution number 3122, affirming commitment to a safe and inclusive community. And so the language that I've offered up for discussion here is reflective of the language in this resolution. And that would need to be included in your findings. Anything relating to justice and equity should have some findings associated with it, which can just piggyback on our findings for our committee.
Jane, could I ask you when we get to findings to remind us of that fact and so that we can make sure that we get that correct?
Sure, absolutely. And I can even help with language as well. So subject to Sharon and Kyle being in agreement with this, and then of course, all of you feeling this language is acceptable, I propose those additions under right to a just government. I propose striking the word participatory because inclusive implies participatory, and that's what the resolution actually has in its title. And now things are disappearing again.
So I was posting it in here.
And Bill, if you just let me finish my explanation.
I'm just
Bill,
waving a
I'll-
hand. I'm listening.
I will be calling on you, Bill, as soon as Jane is finished.
If
Go
you
ahead,
all, if you all would give me just a little of what works best, I'm happy to comply. So there you go. Let me know when you need a change, Jane.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, so I've already explained the first suggestion, and then under right of recognition, I modified the language that was highlighted in yellow and inserted this language that is consistent with the core values in guiding our conduct that are on page 2 of the resolution. And you will see I essentially just borrowed those core value words and inserted them here. And so that is my proposal.
I see. All right. Bill, you had a comment.
Yeah, I had just, Jane, I wonder if you would accept adding the words "and is" before equitable. You have just, free from discrimination, equitable, inclusive, and it would be nice if it said free from discrimination and is equitable, inclusive, sustainable. It makes it clear.
Oh,
that
yeah,
equitable, inclusive are not, you're not free from those.
that is necessary,
Sure.
grammar
Yeah,
wise.
no problem with that at all.
Okay,
And otherwise, I would move the adoption in the first part to Jane's language with that change in right to a just government.
I would second that.
I-
Can we put in the language as corrected, free from discrimination? And
Chairman,
then,
I just need,
oh, yes, Liz.
I need structural. So Jane, are you okay if I copy this and move it into my doc so I can work on it while we talk now?
Absolutely,
Otherwise,
absolutely,
I can't change Jane's email.
Oh, I see, of course.
absolutely.
I need to
course.
grab this information here.
No problem.
That's
and I'll
great.
Paste it over there.
Thank you for doing that, Liz. And sorry I was so 11th hour in getting this to you guys.
Well,
So,
that happens. Sometimes the best stuff comes like that.
so I'm gonna take right here, I'm gonna add this new little space in here. I'm gonna paste it all in there, big print. So we still have, you guys can see, we still have our language, and now here is Jane's language. And I'll change the font size. Can you all see this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay,
So
Not
my,
on my
So
phone.
can we go back to that, the prior page that we were looking at just then?
hang on just one second, sorry.
Sure, yeah.
Mr. Chair, Kyle has his hand up and he. and we-
Okay, Kyle.
so-
I see you. Kyle, yes.
Not to complicate it, but I wonder, based on the title of the section, so right to a just government, the last sentence of that section, a government that allows, etc., almost fits under right of recognition, and what Jane added in blue under right of recognition almost follows discrimination, equity. I like all the language. I'm challenging where it's living. Because the right of recognition, the yellow and the strikeout that Liz had are things to be recognized. But with that gone, I feel like there should be movement of swapping of two sentences. And I wonder what people think. So that would mean all of the blue. So right to just government, all people in San Juan County have the right to be governed by a democratic society that is just, free from discrimination, and is equitable, inclusive, sustainable, and peaceful. All people, and then it would add the line 2 of the lower one, all people who reside in San Juan County have the right, etc. And then the final phrase of just government would move down. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to track it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think I get what you're saying. You want to take the last sentence in the top page there. That's a government that allows people, that one, and put it
Better said, I want the last. Well, I'm curious on people's thought. Swapping the 2 last sentences.
Okay,
So take
that's
this
all it
sentence-
is.
Take this sentence right here and put it down here.
Put a government that allows under right of recognition, and put all the people who reside up where a government that allows was. Just swap those 2, swap the location of those 2 as they're written.
Okay, so.
Makes sense to me.
That,
Yeah.
Not till I can see it.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. I'm
All
trying-
right.
So this,
Commissioner Fuller, you're on board. You just shake your head.
okay,
Wait a minute.
so this is the, I'm just trying to get this to stand out a little more and get it on one page. So this is what we're working on right here. And this is our old stuff. Here's what we're working on. Oh God, I've confused us now.
I didn't mean to make it
No,
complicated.
I know you didn't. It's just the, let me do this different. Hang on, everybody. Oh,
Sure,
Okay,
sure. It
I'm
is
gonna-
complicated, and it's a swap worth doing. So
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think you're following what I was recommending.
I think so.
I guess it would be a friendly amendment.
We're all friends here.
Yeah.
Formal.
Well, we're still crafting this, so I don't think there's been a motion to accept this, has there?
Well, I'd like to see it in its,
Yeah,
just
we'll
let's-
craft it. We'll finish crafting
Okay.
it, and then we'll make a motion, and then we will unanimously adopt it, right?
So I'm just gonna go down here and add a new section at the bottom of the docket, because that was part of what was just making it hard to tell what we were looking at. So this is now. Jane, are you recognizing your language here?
Let me ask this black box. And that's you, Kyle, parentheses, Kevin, parentheses closed. The do you have the ability to move these things around yourself
For everyone else's
Oh, no,
display.
right now?
No.
No, you don't. Okay. I was just
Well,
since it's your idea, it might have been easier for you to do that than for Liz. But
let me try. I am logged in on a phone. Let me try and get into the meeting on a computer and go that way. I can
okay.
try
Because it's
for
always
the sake
gonna
of
be-
time.
It's always going to be easier for the person who's proposing it to know where
yeah, okay.
he's proposing to move things. And if you can, we'll do it. And if you can't, we'll figure it out.
You can watch my attempt to also get us there, and we'll see if we can, how we make it happen
The
best.
first person to get it up correctly gets a gold star.
So now I clearly have, Jane, the text from your email. I'm gonna reduce the size of that font so you can see more on the page. Can you all see that clearly?
So what I would suggest now is that Kyle repeat what he wanted changed, so you can do that and we can see it.
Right, so he talked about a government that allows people moving this somewhere, correct?
I suggested switching the two second sentences. So
In just government and recognition, just switching the two second sentences is all?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Kyle.
so, go
But if I
ahead.
can talk directly to Kyle so I know what to do.
Sure, go ahead. That would be good.
Kyle, do I have one of the two sections you want highlighted?
I need my super glasses.
You did. That was the right one.
Yes.
Government.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna take that and you want me to put it where?
Put it between the blue, right where your cursor is, between the blue and the yellow,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then take the previous sentence,
All people
People.
who
all
reside
people, and put that where you just pulled out of just government.
at the end of peaceful. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, people.
And
Uh,
I'll deal with the colors and the underline later.
Now, where are we on this? So that was your suggestion, right? We got that in place.
That
I
was
think-
mine. I like the language that you championed and had made a motion on. It's just where it lives for clarity and flow.
Okay, we're looking at in yellow with the line through. What's the status of that? Why is
That
the line
still
through
go
there?
away.
Okay, now did that have something to do with you, Jane?
Yes.
No, that had to do with, well, struck the line through it and suggested it be removed. Liz gave me permission to do that if I felt I could come up with better wording. So
How about everybody else? Is everybody else cool with that going away?
Well, I think
Yeah.
I need a moment to somebody to read both of these either aloud and then I'll know more about that. Sorry to jump in, Bob. My apology.
Well, we're trying to arrive at this through consensus, so it's not just Liz who said, if she okays it, it's going to be that way.
Mr. Chair, Patty has her hand up.
Yeah, I see it now. Thank you,
Well, thank you.
Patty.
Can we not vote on each change we make, but agree to do it and then not vote on anything official until it's all
No, that's
put
that.
together?
We haven't been voting. We haven't been
Good.
voting.
Well, I heard you say, can we vote on that? Or I heard at one point and it's
No,
like,
I said, does
okay.
everybody agree? Does everybody
Okay.
agree? Which is
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about, Patty.
yes.
We're doing it informally. We're trying to arrive at this informally. And when we finally have a document where people are not yelling at each other, then bang, we'll take a vote. Yes, Jane.
another-
I'm sorry. We'll get back to you, Black Box. in just a second. Yes, Jane.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I
Excuse me.
realized we needed code names.
I know. It's really cool.
There was a really cool band in the 90s called Black Box, but anyway, okay. Okay, we've lost Bill's grammatical edit in the top one, Liz, where he asked
Oh, we need that.
we included after discrimination, comma, and is equitable, inclusive. et
Right.
cetera.
Nice
And
catch.
then also,
Thank you.
for the grammar hounds, should we say a democratic society that is just and free from discrimination, comma, and is,
Where's that now?
well, just before that. So it's,
Okay.
Top four
A
line.
democratic society that is just, comma, free from discrimination, comma, and is
so I was
exclusive.
wondering whether instead of a comma after just, we have an and. I don't know, you guys are,
I have
Well-
I have a recommendation that maybe Bob and I do the grammatical.
okay,
section.
yep,
Yeah.
Actually, I think the comma is good there.
Okay.
Because,
Usually one and in a sentence is enough.
yeah.
okay, no problem.
So
I'd like to
so we're
Bob-
looking good.
Bob, you and I could do that later.
Well, it may be easier to do it now if there's not a lot of it. Okay, we have, so right to just government is the way that people generally like this now, right? What about right of recognition? Is this the way people generally like it? Is there anybody who suggests anything different there? Okay, what is down here with each human has the right? That's struck, is that correct?
If everybody agrees.
Does everybody agree? I do, that it's okay to strike that? Okay, I don't see any problem so far. So now are we on the
I
next
have a
page?
question.
Yes, sir. What is that?
My question is, The part we've added to right of recognition,
Yes.
wouldn't that be an appropriate finding? You're explaining the reason.
Well, I think that this is expository. I think we are telling people, because the findings aren't going to be included in the charter. We are making use of the charter in a little bit of a new way here, from what I understand, which is to tell people who we are, kind of, and some of the things that we believe in. And I realize that is not what the charter was set up to do.
All right.
Okay. But my understanding from listening to everybody is they want a little bit of that in this amendment and in this charter. And so let's give it a go if that's what people want. Am I correctly understanding that, everybody? That's kind of how we're feeling about it? Okay. All right. So we're done with rights to just government, right of recognition. And what's next? Can we go?
Sorry, quick question, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
sir. Yes, Black Box.
Is that last sentence on the right of recognition, is that actually a sentence now? A government that allows people to, and I'm reading really small print, sorry, a government that allows people to realize their full potential
No, that's
by
not.
And economic.
promoting, it needs a little something more, I think.
Doesn't have a verb.
Yeah, it could be, we believe in.
All right.
Is that okay? Or does somebody want something else like that? We
Is
believe
there
in?
something used in the upper sections to that effect that would be consistent?
All people have the right? Or
You-
well, actually, it would be the three.
Something.
All people, ecosystems, and natural communities have the right. How about that? Let's see if that works. Where are we?
Liz, are you going to copy paste?
Yep.
Try to.
Could you not just repeat? Okay, no, never mind. Sorry, I'm quiet.
Yeah, because you already got that in the first sentence.
Okay, well, then it could be they also have a right. How about that? Because
Well,
they
it's
would
we.
refer to.
It's we, right? Not they.
Oh,
Okay, that's good. Yeah. yeah.
Take away.
We
what you
also have the
had
right.
I'm-
And the
I'm-
we would
raising-
stand for all people, ecosystems and natural communities, of which we're a part of. So we
Remove it.
So
also
this-
have a right to
Hmm.
take out yeah, no,
Just-
don't take out just
So does
Nat-
are you saying this needs to come out because we have it before?
Right.
right. It's
Say-
suggested that we go directly to we also have
Right.
in there instead of all people. Have a right. We also have a right. Yeah, that's right. We also have a right to,
Two.
and then the A, capital A, small a. Then take away the A there,
Yep.
the big A. That's it, I think, isn't it?
I-
Yes, Jane, I see your hand.
Yeah, and again, this is just purely grammatical, but the sort of the personal form "we" only occurs once in this document at the top of it.
Hmm.
Then all of these A, B, C, D, E, F, G are not using the personal form. So that's just a form thing. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're talking about a right to a government here, right? So that applies to people. It's people who are governed and have and operate the government. So maybe we could say, as we say elsewhere, all people who reside, blah, blah. Maybe we could say all people who reside in San Juan County also have, or all
Well,
people.
One of the things that the right of recognition says, all people, ecosystems and natural communities.
Right?
And then we say we. So we is really only people at this
That's-
point.
So that's
Doesn't
why, that's
Doesn't
why,
work.
that's why maybe we should change it to all people in
Again.
San Juan County. It's not again. What do you mean again?
Well, I mean, all people, let's see. Well, when you say we, that does only refer to all people, I think, and it leaves
That-
out the ecosystems and natural communities. which
Right. There's a reason for that. That's
Okay.
because the subject of this particular
the
sentence, or
sentence.
the object of it is government.
Okay.
And
Okay, so it's okay as
it's
it
people
stands.
who participate in the government, not
So
the
it's
ecosystem.
okay. Well,
We the people also have a right. I'm okay with that. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
How about these
Anybody else?
entities?
except that they're saying that these entities aren't the people. That's what I was saying, that we thought these entities, but they're not. Only the people have the right to the government.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am, Jane.
just the latter part of this sentence, though, talks about realizing their full potential by promoting social and economic justice that nurtures meaningful livelihood in an economy that is environmentally stable. And I would suggest
Oh.
that that's not applicable to ecosystems and natural communities specifically. That is specific to people. So
That's why we're saying we the people at the top of the sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
okay, I'm fine with that.
So we got it fixed. Any other problems with this? If people are kind of, yes, Patty.
Well,
And then Liz.
in the section above, we still have that word participatory that I know that Liz was wondering, should she take it out? But I'm thinking inclusive isn't the same as participatory. So I'm not sure whether we should take it out, but that's just me.
I withdraw.
Well, well,
Oh, it's
particip-
okay.
Has their hand up too.
I kind of like participatory in there. That covers a wide range of things, including things like the right to vote that we're being hassled about right now. That's
I think it
that's
should
being-
stay in.
And Mr.
How-
Chair, you have two hands up,
how to
Jane
who
and
are-
Kyle.
tell me who they are, please.
Kyle
don't
and
see-
Jane.
I don't see any hands.
No, I don't anymore.
Okay, Jane.
I'm fine with leaving it in if the committee feels it's good to keep in. I just felt it was
Okay.
beginning to get very wordy, and
Yeah,
so, but if you
yeah.
feel it's important, then I have no problem with that.
I like it in. How does everybody else feel? Anybody want it out? It's in. Okay. Let's go on now. We've got right to just government and right of recognition that's acceptable to everybody, from what I understand. Can we go on to the next paragraph?
Can you give me a moment?
Yes, ma'am. This is
You-
wonderful that you're accomplishing this as we go along. This is just Coca-Cola, everyone.
Bob,
Yes.
if
Yes, Bill.
I need to go back to right of self-government
Oh
because
boy, we almost
the
got
word-
bit by it. Okay, go ahead.
the word, we thought we were done with it, but I see the word lawfully in red with a question mark on it. And that indicates to me that there hasn't been agreement about inclusion of that word. I'm not sure what the group thinks.
I don't see it there at all. Where were you suggesting it go, Bill?
Well, look at right of self-government.
Yes, right of just government, you mean?
Okay, yes, right of self-government, the first paragraph.
Oh, the first paragraph. Okay.
Yes.
Can we go to
Oh.
that?
So we're leaving this section here? Is
Apparently so, yes.
that
Let's
right?
go-
Is that Right,
Let's
Bill?
go to right of self-government.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking, where you're,
Okay, wait a minute.
Yes,
oh,
right.
there it
here.
is.
That's it. Now, if you look at the red word in that paragraph,
Sure, we see it. Yeah.
it looks
lawfully.
like it indicates to me that we have not agreed on it. It's a word that I have asked be inserted for the comfort of those who may need comfort.
Yes,
Uh,
I agree strongly that that is a good word to put in there, because I don't think anybody is advocating revolution. Is that right?
I wasn't
I'm
sure when I
serious.
first read it.
Maybe at some point down the way, but right now, no one's doing that, right? We're not into
I don't-
tradition.
I have my hand raised, Bob.
Okay, yes, Liz, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that the asking of that question, my response is, I don't think it's a conversation we want to go down right now, because I would have things to say on that. And I think we're trying to get something done, so I don't want that to pass over. That, if you want to ask me about where we are already beyond the edge, but I don't want to go down that conversation as to, is anybody suggesting revolution here? So
No, if that's a problem, please accept my retraction of
Thank
that,
you.
okay?
Thank
Forget about revolution. Let's
Yeah.
just deal with his suggestion that we put lawfully in there. I'm for it. Is anybody against it? Okay, Kyle, talk to us.
Can you see everybody? well, maybe it's not implied, but you know, I have never worked within our current documents to try and tell somebody how to, the extent to which they feel obligated to act within the law. I mean, I don't think you imply that it's unlawful if you leave the word out. You know, there are consequences if you're unlawful or your behaviors are unlawful as it is. I don't, it's not an overreach, but I think it's extra, and I don't know that it needs to be there.
Okay, straw poll. Is that, I'm sorry, was that all, Kyle?
Yeah. Yes.
Kevin? Okay.
Kevin says yes.
All right, straw poll.
And Bob, I
Who-
do have my hand up still.
Go ahead then, Liz.
I think it's fear mongering.
Fear mongering. Okay. So that's 2 no's. Anybody else want it out? Are you voting that you both want it out?
I am.
Lawfully in.
Patty is, that's 3. I
Terry?
doubt that Bill is voting that he wants it out. Do you
No,
want
I
it
don't
out,
think-
Bill?
I'm only voting to leave it in because part of the problem is we've already got the fear out there. I'm trying to respond to it, but I really don't care because I'm.
Okay, so we have
out.
3 who want it, 3 who, so far, 3 who want it out, 2 who want it in. That's not everybody. Let's hear from everybody else who hasn't suggested how they want it yet. Jane, how do you want it?
Who are the 2 who want it in?
Myself and Bill.
I'm going to abstain. I don't have a view on the matter.
Okay. So far it's going to come out. Anybody else?
Mr. Chair, a point of order. Have we decided or have an impression of whether, is Sharon still with us? Is she a voting person?
She is a
Yeah.
voting member now.
I am. I
Okay.
don't really have an opinion on it.
So that's another abstention. Okay, so
Is it?
has yeah, she said are you abstaining or? Yeah, she's not
Okay.
going to vote. She doesn't have an opinion. Anybody else? Yes, Liz, you've already voted, haven't you?
So I have a different way of stating my opinion is that all of this is done inside of, you know, the language of self-government. So it's redundant. That's what I would say.
Okay, we're taking it out because the
Redundant.
consensus, the sense of the group is that it comes out, given the abstentions, the yeses and the noes. So it comes out. Thank you. Let's move on to the next thing.
Okay.
We have all come together on everything down to right of recognition. Why the yellow is still there? Because why is it still there?
Because you're working farther down below in the
So
document.
we were down here.
Below.
Okay, why is the yellow up there?
What I need to do, because I pulled in Jane's wording, so now I need to take these 2 sections, if we're ready, and move them up and replace them in our document.
I think we are ready. Can we do that? I mean,
Um,
we worked on these and everybody said these are good. So let's
Okay,
keep
I'm
those.
gonna pull these right here, out of here. And I'm going to replace, so I'm replacing right to self-government and right to just government, correct?
Mhm.
Yes,
No, right,
Oh,
no,
wait a minute.
no.
right to
No,
just
maybe not.
government. It's right to just government. What was the other one?
Oh, right of
Right to
just
just and
government
right
and
to
right of
recognition.
recognition,
Okay, okay.
correct?
Those 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me
So-
reduce the size of the font. Hang on just a second. Okay, so that should be somewhat legible to everyone. And there it is.
Thank you so much, Liz. Can we go on to the next section that we have not yet reviewed? Because we're all good so far.
Right.
Okay, this is where we stopped, right? All right, now, so we're up to the place where we stopped, and this is the place where I have a suggestion to clean it up. At least that's my view of it. And as I've said, if you guys don't like this, we can just continue on with what we got here. But my suggestion is that what's going on here now?
I'm just tidying up so we can be on one page. So
Okay.
go ahead, Bob, just keep ahead if you can.
Okay, my suggestion is that we we take the portion that she'll show us in a minute here.
Yeah, sorry. There, I just wanted to get, so
Right.
Sure, of course.
we just have
We
one
pre-
page to look at here.
We completely appreciate your efforts. Okay, what we're dealing with here is healthy climate, clean water, the rights of the ecosystem, and restorative justice. So that's 4 things, and I've got up here the proposed language is all people, ecosystems, and natural communities in San Juan County have the right to : 1, a climate system capable of sustaining life; 2, abundant clean air, clean water, healthy soil, and healthy soil capable of sustaining life; 3, a natural existence in which they flourish, regenerate, evolve, and are restored free from all corporate government and other business activities which could potentially do them serious and substantive harm. There's a slight difference in there. That's a lawyer thing, but and then 4 is the restorative justice. Have the right to restorative justice secured. Now here's what I wrote, and then I'm going to tell you in a minute about Bill's comment and how I've reacted to it. Restorative justice secured by an ordinance passed by the San Juan County Council within 30 days of the passage of this amendment. And then it goes on basically to repeat the language that we've got here. Such ordinance or ordinances shall provide that any person, business entity, or government that willfully violates any provision of the amendment shall be liable for any damage to the ecosystems and natural community caused by the violation. Such ordinance should measure damages by the cost of restoring the ecosystem and or natural community to its state before the injury, and should provide that such damages be paid to San Juan County to be used exclusively for such full and complete restoration. And let me say that I used as the authority to do that, to tell them that they had to pass an ordinance that says this. I used section 9.31 of the charter, 9.31 parens 4 parens closed, which reads as follows: any implementing ordinance required by the charter amendment shall be enacted by the city council within 180 days after the amendment is effective, unless the amendment provides otherwise. And I'd like you to comment in just a second, Bill, on this, because you had you think it means something different, what I just read, and does not allow us to do this. And if that is the case, then I have a 1-word change that should clean that up. Bill, you want to say something about that? Well, before you do though, Bill, before you do, I'm sorry, I have a hand up, which is Jane's hand. Jana, you want to comment on this, or is it something else?
Yeah, no, I did want to comment on this. I was actually going to suggest that that restorative justice clause, whatever it ends up being, should be standalone, and that the 3 above, they fit together, but the restorative justice is a slightly different concept, and so whereas the 3 above are quite specific to the environment. So I was going to suggest that we discuss that first, and then the restorative justice for me is a separate discussion, actually. And it's because I wrote an email to you all expressing my confusion about the use of that terminology in the context of the environment. I've not heard it used in the context of the environment before. I've heard it used in the context of discord between peoples. And in the case of where we live, have spoken with Indigenous peoples of this area who wish that this county government could adopt some restorative and even transformative justice in relation to their relationship with the county. So I find it highly confusing. And so anyway, I'm just suggesting the environment stuff stays together, and then restorative justice is, but that's just a suggestion.
I think that's a decent idea that we can talk about. Now I've got Sharon, you have a comment, and please unmute yourself.
Yeah. I was thinking basically what Jane is thinking, and that language that we just had here.
Bob,
Yeah.
this is
Number 2 there.
Yes.
It's abundant clean air, clean water, and healthy soil capable of sustaining life. I wonder if we might say abundant clean air, clean water, and healthy soil that is well managed. Because right now we don't really have a handle on how much water are we using? And I'm excited that we just got $90,000 to do a water study, capacity study. But
Sharon, would it be well managed and capable of sustaining life?
yeah,
I have no objection to that if no one else does.
or that
Yeah.
is responsibly managed, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Responsibly managed. Okay. Put that in there, please. Jane. I'm sorry, you're muted, Jane. Are you saying?
Sorry, I forgot to take my hand down.
Oh,
Apologies.
okay. So, there was an idea to move restorative justice to its own paragraph, and I have no problem with that.
But Bob, before we go
Liz.
on, just on this word of responsibly and Sharon's suggestion, I
Yes.
wondered about if it's, is there a word from the sustainable ag people they use all the time, that it is, regeneratively managed? Because responsibly we talk about monetary responsibility to get the most we can out of the land. Are we talking about? So what's the term from the ag community? It's regenerative. That is.
Somebody, different word.
I know that. I see Kyle's hand, Bob.
Yes, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like us to kind of leave it alone. I see what Sharon is getting at, but I think less is more. Some of it will not, some of the properties a la land bank or even private property that's held in sort of in trust, or some of it, the best is for it to be left alone. The management, I guess, is to maybe to be prescriptive and corrective. I feel like to call soil out or to call water or air out is actually the guy. How it happens ought to be by the actions that are taken using this document. That's my feeling.
Right. We can't.
Management implies a heaviness in human interaction or human we're imposing ourselves. So that's my thought.
Wait, he didn't mean put those words in there.
I like those words, but
Yeah, but that is.
so
Okay.
Kyle, your suggestion is that it would have read as originally and not with Sharon's addition.
Or just leave the responsibly in there. How about that is managed in an environmentally responsible way? Too many words?
Does that do it? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Does that add anything that's not implied or controlled by healthy soil that nurtures life? Or
I was good the way that it was originally, but
Well, can I speak up?
Yes, please.
Well, I noticed that the language says all people, ecosystems, and natural communities in San Juan County have the right to. But having the right to, it doesn't mean it is that way. And we see that happening all the time. So
Right,
that's
but-
why I thought we might want to add something about actually stewarding this to make sure that we do actually have that right, that it's not ignored. That we have that right, yeah, but we actually don't have the clean air and the clean water. And
Here's my comment about this. I believe a wonderful thing that is happening in another committee is the establishment of the Office of Climate and Environment and the Climate Commissioner. I believe it will be that person's responsibility then to go over to these rights, this Declaration of Rights, to go over there and look at these and say, okay, how are we going to get this done? Let's jot down a proposed ordinance and send it over to the over to the council. That's going to be one of that person's jobs, I believe. So I think if we get down a good sense of what we feel the rights are, then I think they can go from there. And Patty, what do you say?
1 point, we're assuming that we will have an Office of Climate and Environment, that
yeah.
this will happen. It's possible that people might vote for the Bill of Rights and not vote for the Office of Climate and Environment. So
It's possible. It's
you
possible.
might want to state something in there that's a little stronger and not hope that we have an office to take
Well,
care of.
if the people aren't gonna give us an office to take care of it, it won't matter what this Bill of Rights says, whether it's strong, weak, or otherwise. That's my opinion anyway.
Unless the county council itself can do ordinances that.
Which
you
of course
and
it can.
enforcement is really important and all of that, but
Yes.
it's possible we may not have this office, so we can't count on it. That's
So
all
you're
I-
thinking it should be a little stronger. Liz?
I just wondered if Kyle had any suggestions.
Okay, Kyle, want to respond to that?
I'm gonna make it worse. I just really realized that it's this particular E as it's written so far is referring to all people, and I like the concept that any other, all three really, all people, ecosystems, and natural communities, I believe, possess the right to all three of those, which is
Yes.
kind of what Bob you got at with your language earlier.
Exactly, right.
Um,
1, 2, 3.
I don't know if that changes what I put in, and I'm gonna have to take a second here. That nurtures life, possesses the right to clean air, clean water, and healthy soil. I don't. Sorry, Liz. I don't have, without smithing work.
It's a little awkward.
fact.
It's a little awkward to work between these documents because the formatting is so different, the layout.
But you're doing.
What's
But
is
you know,
that? Is that Bob? Whose
is-
document is that? That's Bob.
Yeah, right. And what I did, Liz and everybody else, is I pretty religiously used what Liz had and stuck them into here. And she'll recognize all of this language. I didn't make up this. I didn't write this language. I just put it in this format. And so what I'm proposing now is that we go with what we have here for 1, 2, and 3, and that we do what Jane was suggesting, making restorative justice another sentence, that or another paragraph that says all people, ecosystems, and natural communities in San Juan County also have the right to restorative justice, and then we go on with that paragraph.
so Bob, right up, I apologize for lack of for formality here. Bob, right here,
That's okay.
this would be this title. How do we have one of these? We're not working on.
What this does is it replaces everything here from
I
the whole
understand.
page.
What do we title this in terms of
Oh, I see.
right of justice? What are we calling this then? Or,
I see. In order to put it in that format, you're saying. Okay. See, right. We could call it important additional rights, or I don't know. What do you think? Does it need to have it needs to have a title?
well, I was just trying to figure out layout wise of what we present. So everybody, don't worry about this. This is the old document up above's Bob. So don't worry about
Right,
that.
right.
But if we have this look, right of self-govern, right to just government, right of recognition, and then we go down to here, it's, I think.
Well,
What
we
is-
could, Liz, we could go up to the top of the page and redo that this way so that there's a long list.
Yeah, I know your world loves bullet lists.
That's
so
what this is a bullet list. Yeah.
Yeah, so each of these, right to self-govern would become bullet list. Right to just government would become a bullet list. Right to recognition would become bullet list, and then we
Yeah.
would continue.
You would just take out the all people, ecosystems, and natural communities, and it would be at the top like it is here with a colon, and then you'd have this list. So you would take these paragraphs. Let's take right of recognition there. You would take that paragraph and you would say to be recognized. It would start there because you stopped at have the right to, and that would be recognized as part of the integral blah 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 like that.
I'm sorry, Bob, I didn't follow that.
Okay.
Am I in the
Okay.
right place? See my cursor?
Yeah. The way that it would go is you you'd put it in the down below where I have 1, 2, 3. Those would be numbers, 7, 8, and 9 or whatever, because the 1, 2, 3 would be the things you've got up here. And let's take what you've got for right of recognition. It wouldn't be entitled right of recognition. It would just go to all people, ecosystem, natural communities of San Juan County have the right to, and you just stop at have the right to, and you and then take all of that out before that, and it just turns into be recognized.
Right, so again, trying to do this via committee, is this the best use of our time? Do we want to agree on language and Bob? and I-
Well, I'll be glad to redo it in that way if that's what people would like to do. In other words, keep all of the language that Liz has up above, except put it in this format: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and so that there would be one clause at the beginning of it: all people, ecosystems, and what happened to it? Ecosystems and natural communities of San Juan County have the right to, and then we would have this list of what their
And then
rights
it's
are.
going to start with the right to self-govern, go to the right
Yes,
to just
ma'am.
government, go
Yes,
to
ma'am.
right of recognition, and
Right,
then go down
right.
to a climate system capable of.
Right. And
so
all of
Bob,
in each paragraph, all of the language right before to would be taken out, and then it would work fine. You'd
Right.
have the right to, and then it would be this, do that, do this, do that, and do that.
So I would like to see that document, so we can spend our time on the actual, what the words are together, and then Bob, you take it, put it in your format, and we'll see if that works, and if
Okay.
not, we'll go back to the old formatting, but keep the words that we've agreed upon intact, no edits, no changes.
Right.
Because all we're
And-
doing at that is the presentation of it, and Bob,
Yeah.
you nor I would have a right to change the language at all.
So right. And if I saw something I wanted to change the language, I would not do that unless I came back to the committee and they authorized me to do that. Okay. So if at the end of this discussion we vote to adopt this document, it will be with the changes we've just suggested in the top part, with no changes whatsoever, except putting it in this format and taking everything after the word to in each one of those above paragraphs and putting it in there. Okay. If there's something that looks like it needs, obviously if there's a little grammatical thing and a comma or whatever, that'd be all right. But anything of substance, I would not change that unless I had talked with you guys, and emailed you or whatever, but we're trying to get this done. And so, yes, Liz.
So I'm just going to bring back the document that is our starting point document. So Bob,
Uh-huh.
yours is still right there.
Yes.
So everybody can see, because the language in the restorative justice is quite different.
Right.
You
That's
state-
going to be that will be a separate paragraph, Liz, at the bottom.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a
Yeah.
comment, please, and I see
Yes,
this as
Jane.
very much a two-way conversation right now. I've been meaning to say something for some
Oh,
time.
I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand. Go ahead,
Okay,
please, Jane.
Thank you, because I'm sorry, but I don't agree with the idea of putting that umbrella statement at the top. When we talked about this in our working session, we talked about the manner in which this Declaration of Rights and Responsibilities sort of moved from these, the rights of peoples in a certain sense and blended into rights of nature. And what you have in some of these paragraphs is material that is not germane to sort of rights of nature language. And
I
so
see.
I don't agree at all with having an umbrella statement the way you're suggesting. And I apologize for, creating, formatting issues here, but I think I thought we all agreed when we were in our working session that we liked the way that held together, but maybe you've changed your minds.
Bob, I have my hand up.
Yes, ma'am.
So-
Go ahead.
So Jane, in response to you, I'm in total agreement with you. That's why I wasn't able to do what Bob is suggesting we can, because it really doesn't hang together in the way we've been directing it. So I thought maybe Bob could see something we weren't, but I don't think it will
All right.
be some in alignment with what you're saying.
Other comments? So we keep it like it is. then that would include, it doesn't make sense then to use any of this in the second part. So let's go back to the second part. Just keep it like it is and go back down to restorative justice and fix that.
Yeah, so we have to, because Bob, you're not introducing any language changes that you want to make sure we do
No, just,
here through here,
no.
correct?
Well, I mean, I suppose we should go back to the top of the second page that we haven't dealt with yet. Toss out what I came up with here and just deal with this and see if there's any changes that we want to. So is clean air the first one? It should be climate capable of sustaining life. Yeah, there we go. So let's just do that. What's with the echo thing? What's going on?
I think Black Box is getting a covert call.
Oh, it got fixed, whatever it is. All right. So we start up at the top of this page and look at right to a healthy climate. All people, ecosystems and natural communities of San Juan County possess a right to, and then we have parts in red. Those are suggestions made by whom? The red parts.
Those are Bill's suggestions.
Okay, a responsibility to maintain to the extent of their ability local and global climate systems capable of sustaining existing forms. All right, comments on this section, either with the red or without the red. Comments? Do people want to use Bill's red suggestion?
We're reading.
Of course. That's I personally really like that. This is rights and responsibilities. That sets out a responsibility, which we haven't done much of in this thing, and it's certainly a responsibility I think we could all get behind. You know, setting up this global system capable of sustaining existing forms of life. My gosh, that's something we sure need. I suggest we keep Bill's suggestion in there. Yes, Liz, please.
So the existing forms of life, Bill, could you speak to why you want that included? That seems like we've shifted into sci-fi.
Well, I guess there are two things that addition is intended to do. That, by the way, that I think that the aim was to follow the think global, act local. That was the first part, is to carry that out. As to existing forms of life, the problem we face is that life is constantly changing. We are also trying to prevent extinctions. And I'm focusing on trying to avoid the loss of species. And we want to sustain the existing forms of life. And that's one of our functions, is to preserve nature. One of the problems is we are an existing form of life, and nature can do very well without us. I think we have to save what there is if we want to save ourselves. That's my point of view, but it's said in as few words as possible.
All right. Other comments about whether we should adopt this right to healthy climate? Yes, Liz.
So I think, is this too unnecessary here? A right and responsibility to maintain, instead of right to and responsibility to? I just take that to out.
Oh, I see what you're asking. A right and responsibility. Oh, no, it needs to be in there because it's a right. Let me see now.
It's to the extent.
If you
So
take it
that's
out,
why
it's
we do it in there.
you have a right to maintain. And I don't think that's what we're talking about. What we're talking about is a right to
So
A right to a climate system. That's where it should go. Possesses a right to a climate system, but we can't move that around like that. I mean, that's what it modifies.
Right.
They possess the right to a climate system capable of, etc. A right to, comma, and put a comma there. A right to and the responsibility
To the extent.
to maintain to the extent possible, blah, 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 to the extent possible, comma. There's already a comma there, right? Local and global systems. Yeah, that works like that.
Comma.
It's a little clumsy, but yes, Liz.
I had my hand up first, I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
Thank you. I would suggest removing to the extent of their ability. I don't see the necessity of those words, to be honest. And I don't know. I'd like to know why Bill thinks those words are necessary.
I'm not sure they're necessary, but I have to say, I'm again thinking, how much global difference does San Juan County carbon reduction do? And all I'm saying is, to the extent of San Juan County's ability to save the globe, we're not going to bring carbon down globally. We're going to do it to the extent of our ability.
But
Well, we're not
Bill,
going to bring it down, but I don't really care. If you want to take the words out, take them out.
Well, Bill,
I
I
can-
hear what you're saying. I mean, I just don't think they're necessary because sorry, Mr. Chair, I didn't ask if I could respond to.
oh, go
Bill.
ahead. Go ahead. It's all right, Jane. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd suggest removing them in the sense that, in a way, let's say this is successful, right? Let's say all of this passes with the voters. I mean, we're going to be setting a pretty remarkable example as a county in Washington State. And I think that, in that respect, yes, we're going to be impacting, hopefully in very positive terms, our local climate system. But by virtue of being an example setter, a standard setter in a way, we can make a contribution. So I like kind of the aspirational nature of just, let's do whatever we can. That's my feeling, Bill.
I'm with Jane on this to take out to the extent of their ability.
I take it as a friendly amendment if there's a motion anywhere since the
Okay.
beginning of the meeting.
Does anybody object to us taking it out? I saw someone waving a hand. Was
Thank
that
you,
Patty?
friend.
Liz, you had a hand up.
So I'm just thinking about saying that the ecosystem has a responsibility. But my question is also, can we get the phrase of, mutual obligation in there? Just that the mutual obligation and responsibilities, if we're looking at the larger world here.
Mutual between what and what, Liz? I don't understand.
I'm not sure exactly, but I was just like thinking that that's language that's, it points to the reciprocity that's required for a system to function.
You know what we're faced with here, Liz and gang? That is, what we're faced with is looking at rights and responsibilities. The concept of rights of nature is a difficult one for some people to get their heads around. The concept that nature has responsibilities. Wow. Is anybody here saying that that's something that should be recognized? And what do we do to nature when it doesn't uphold its responsibilities?
Can I
Yes.
also make a
That's
comment?
the earlier point.
Patty has her hand up.
This is really an awkward sentence, and all
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
ecosystems, and natural communities of San Juan County possess a right to a climate system or climate systems capable of sustaining life, existing forms, whatever, and then add the responsibility portion maybe in a sentence after that, but it just doesn't belong where it is. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I support Patty in that. I think just add a sentence at the end of it that speaks to the responsibilities that
People
that
have.
people have.
Right. I don't think that we can keep it in there. I think you guys are right, because we cannot assign to ecosystems and natural communities a responsibility, because that's, I'm just going to say it, ridiculous. I mean, we all know that. So rights is a difficult concept, but I think we can get behind it. But responsibility. So if we're going to include it in there, it needs to be a sentence, a second sentence that starts with all people. Or, yeah,
Okay.
all people
Take it out, Liz.
of San Juan County have the responsibility. If we're going to put it in there, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have
Hmm,
the responsibility to maintain these systems. It could be short like that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Jane.
I'm just thinking of I'm thinking of the voters in San Juan County reading this and sensing that they have an obligation to do something they may not feel they should have to do, and they don't want the county telling them they have to do it. I don't know. I'm interested in others' thoughts on that.
That's bellying up to the bar and facing the music right there. You know, do we want to establish these responsibilities or not? If not, we should leave out responsibilities. If we're afraid that the voters will say, I like these rights, but I don't want to do anything about it. I don't want to have to do anything about it. You know, if we're afraid they're going to say that, which I don't think is necessarily an unreasonable fear, then
These
we
are
need to either take
policies,
them out
Dave.
or face the possibility of it being rejected for that reason. What do you think, guys? We
Think-
talk about
Bill,
responsibilities.
You got lots of hands
We'll
up.
leave that
Bob.
part out.
Bob, these are policy statements, basically. These are not enactments. So I think we can
Of
leave
course.
responsibility in.
Liz, can you
Patty.
go back and take out the and responsibility to maintain local and global? Can you finish taking that out from there? Yeah. And it's either a.
Yeah, I think we kind of agree that that has to go.
Mr. Chair, Kevin has his hand up. I mean, Kyle, Black Box.
And or we don't.
Black Box has his hand up.
Oh, yes, Kyle has his hand up. Thank you, Kyle. Go ahead.
Too late. Sorry, it's too late.
Oh,
I
no.
I just want to draw us back. So the meeting is getting, the
Yeah,
meeting is
yeah,
going
it's
where
really
it did two
bad.
times ago. So Mr. Chair, your job is to manage the board and the people in their hands. So I'm just calling your attention back to that, please.
Thank you.
We got a lot to do here.
I'm not hearing you, but if what you're doing is asked you to do, which was to let me know if we were coming up to the time and I was missing it, good. But okay, here's where we are. We've made some progress, but not nearly enough. We're obviously, do you guys want to continue on after we take the public comment, or do you want to set another meeting, say on a day between now and the next regular meeting? Because the next regular meeting, we're presenting our results.
I'm for continuing if we can.
What do you want? Whoops. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, everyone. My screen froze up.
We're hearing you, Bob.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
hearing
you're
you.
hearing me. Okay. Well, what I'm asking is okay, good. What I'm asking is, do people want to continue on after we take public comment, or do they want an additional meeting? Please raise your hand if you want to continue on after public comment.
Bob, I have a comment.
Liz has a comment.
Just me. Okay. Yes.
I have
Yes,
a
Liz.
hard stop at 12:10 today.
Oh,
So
I
I
see, I see.
suggested another meeting.
okay.
All right. So it looks like no one except me wants to continue on anyway. And I really
I
don't
did, but
either.
not
So,
without Liz.
okay. Another meeting.
Kyle has his hand up, Bob.
I don't see it. Okay. Anyway, Kyle, you're frozen for me. And so I don't see your hand, but go ahead. If you're talking, I'm not hearing you. I don't know if other people are.
No.
We're not hearing you, Kyle.
Okay.
You're frozen, Kyle.
Sharon is going to be hopping off the meeting. Kyle, can you say what you want to say in the chat?
They already have.
No,
Okay, that's,
he didn't.
all right. He's
Just when we
frozen.
need him.
Well, okay, so we're looking for another day, and we can backtrack if Kyle gets back on. Kyle, if you're hearing us, if you do get back on, wave your hand vigorously, or just chime in, okay, so we know you're there. Now he's completely gone, is he not? Okay, Kyle is gone. So what do people suggest? I can do Thursday during the day. I cannot do Friday. I'm going to America for an eye appointment. I have a memorial thing on Saturday afternoon.
Less editorial.
What?
I just want a little less editorial.
Okay.
Whatever. All right. So those days are available for me. What about other people? Bill.
I'm out Thursday and Friday. I've got medical issues,
Crap.
but carry on, as I'm sure you will.
Would you be available Saturday?
Saturday, I will be returning to
So no,
Friday Harbor.
No, so we're without you then. Jane? looking at the
I'm
top
not
of my list.
available on the weekend at all. And I have some other meetings scattered for the rest of the week, but if it was on a weekday, I could try and accommodate it.
Okay, Black Box wants to be admitted. I'm going to go up here and admit him if I
did.
can.
I
Oh.
just did.
Well, thank you. All right. So Black Box, you're back. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, it's all frustration. So thank you.
It is frustrating. So we got to start comment in just a minute, but Kyle, do you have any time available? Thursday, Saturday, Sunday?
Sunday, yes. Thursday, potentially.
Okay. Can we do Thursday,
that help?
people? That's helpful. Can we do Thursday,
I would-
people?
I'll just do
Thursday?
it whenever.
Sunday.
How about, can we do Thursday at 10 o'clock?
No, I can do Thursday afternoon.
Okay. Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock?
Yes, I
I'm
can.
okay. I'm not able to do that. I could do it after. I'm available after, like as of 2:30 for a while.
Well, we could start at
What
2
time is
o'clock
our-
and you could come in.
Trying to get my calendar.
Go ahead, Kyle. What?
I'm trying to remember when our general meeting is on Thursday.
4.
It's 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
Oh, there is one set?
Okay.
Okay.
We changed it? Ooh. Oh.
Is that a change?
Yes, it's an addition. So we have our Wednesday and now we also have the Thursday morning meeting.
But that's been the time slot.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
right. It was, that's right.
Glad I
10
asked.
to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
What I want.
Yes, Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I wanted to say earlier and got broke up, one of the things was this is more challenging, not that we can't do it, but it's more challenging when language gets changed and multiple versions are out there of new
Right.
changes in between meetings. So I've lost some of that in my email stream. So we need a different mechanism, or I feel the value in another mechanism to draw attention to those changes, because I think part of the slowdown here is preparation. I feel unprepared to work on language and think through some of this in a group setting on the fly.
Okay. We're going to continue this discussion for 3 or 4 minutes, but I can no longer put off
Thank you.
public
Let's honor the public.
participatory. Okay.
Great.
So with members of the public who wish to comment, please unmute yourselves, put your video on, and raise your hand if you want to comment. And I need to go down and take a look. Let's see.
Alexandra.
Can we unshare the screen?
Hi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good. That would be good. Let's unshare the screen. There we go. Members of the public. So it looks like now we only have Ben, and Micheline. Is that right?
Alexander.
Oh, and
and
Alexandra.
Kai.
Alexandra has her hand up, and Kai has her hand up. Okay, let's start with Alexandra. And Micheline, right?
Alexandra, Orcas Island, thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm really excited for what is emerging here, and just really impressed and excited about that. And the other thing is, I am very much in support of putting something in about the responsibility of the people in the county, and obviously not of the ecosystems, to have responsibility. And the concept that's sort of emerging for me as I understand and think more and more about this relative to climate is we're basically aiming in all the things we do for a no waste system, which is when nature's in balance, there's no waste. And what we've created by excess emissions, we've got too many emissions and we've taken away too many of the mitigating parts of nature. So now we've got waste. And every time we think about our various, climate solutions, if we're not also at the same time considering, well, does this create waste? Like, do extra batteries create waste? And does it? All that question to me is like a central question. I don't know that has to do with what you're writing here, but I just wanted to share it because it's really helped me to really think about how to simplify the explanation. Might be part of findings at some stage, but I agree with what Bill said about the preservation of the species and the biodiversity, and also this concept of creating something regenerative that avoids waste, basically. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all your.
Thank you, Alexandra. Kai.
Yeah, hello. I from my sunny garden, and I'm sorry I missed some of the meeting. Someone came by with some news about some of the things we're working on.
And Kai, before you go on, can I ask you, for the purpose of people who listen to the recording?
Yes,
your
Kai
name,
Sandburn,
etc.?
Lopez Island.
Thank you.
And the primary thing I want to say is that I am just grateful beyond measure for your sticking with this really complicated task and the depth with which you're taking a look at it. I really am utterly grateful. And then I just I can't comment on the details. I do want to say that I increasingly think that rights and responsibilities are twinned. That, when you have a right to vote, you have a responsibility to understand what you're voting for. When you have a right to free speech, you have the responsibility to use that free speech with integrity and honesty. So I think rights and responsibilities are often tied together. They are not often spoken with in that way. And then I just would like to give a shout out to those of you on Lopez or Orcas. The Red Road to DC totem journey is stopping on Orcas probably right around now, and then it's coming to Lopez tonight. That is 4 to 5 at Odland Park. It is an utterly moving ceremony, and listening to it yesterday on Friday Harbor, I wanted to beam you all there to hear some of that language. It is quite moving, and if you can tear yourself away from all this work, I promise you will be deeply replenished. The totem is carved, if you're not aware, by the Lummi House of Tears carvers, and is going to make a journey across the country, stopping at sacred sites and ending up gifting that totem to President Biden, urging that he protect sacred lands, sacred waters, and indigenous people in their lands. So anyway, thank you very much for listening, for your time.
Thank you, Kai. Micheline.
Hi, everybody. This is Micheline Halliday from San Juan Island. I am moved by what you're doing this morning. I truly am. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. The environment's going to thank you. And I know this is frustrating work and it's tiring and you might be a little bit emotionally exhausted, but what you are working for is it's where we all exist, where we all create, where all happiness comes from, all life comes from. So thank you very much. I did want to say one thing. I've been reading all about these companies that want to do things on different lands. And I always notice the EPA is who gives the permit to do these things. And so I really think documents like you're working on are really important because I don't really feel like the EPA is solid in what they want to accomplish, and they seem to be at the whim of the administration as well. And I just think communities kind of need to be responsible for what's happening in their own communities. And I read something in a document. It said, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That's from the US Declaration of Independence. Oh, I'm out of time? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks
Let me
again.
put the sound down.
Thank you so much, Kai. Ben.
Oh, well.
Hi, can you hear
Hello?
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. First off, I just wanted to say thank you all again, as always, for your good work. I'm truly thrilled with the direction this meeting has gone today, and the energy to move forward in this direction is very evident. And whatever trajectory it takes from here, I myself and hopefully others will support you to arrive at the strongest possible result that hopefully ultimately winds up on a ballot. I can't confidently speak for everyone who has reached out to you, both in public comment and via email, which I have done both of. But my comments, no matter how you've received them, and no matter how they come across, they come from a place of passion for the well-being of the environment that supports all life, and admittedly an anger that stems from the ongoing legacy of injustices that our earth has suffered, and the frustration that those of us who care have essentially no democratic power to do anything about it. So I see this committee and the upcoming charter as a very rare opportunity to have a voice and a vehicle to address these issues. I spent most of my weekend online delving into how the concept of rights of nature, however it's referred to, has been implemented and upheld to varying degrees of success in this country and also the world. It was a very enlightening and frankly something I wish I had done much earlier. And it gave me a lot more insight and compassion into the fundamental concepts which I've seen this group debating and grappling with. And to end up where you are at the end of today, I thank you. And the environment will thank you. I also just wanted to add real quickly that you noticed there was some issue with the language of the right to a healthy climate. People have a responsibility to maintain it. If there is issue with that, perhaps it could be people deserve the right to a healthy environment or should have the opportunity to maintain a healthy environment, so that people who might not want to don't feel obligated, but those who do feel obligated will see it as all systems go. So again, thank you for your good work. Thank you for allowing public comment.
Thank you, Ben. We still have two hands up. Are they up intentionally? Kai and Micheline, do you have further comment or are you finished? Okay. What about you, Kai? Do you have further comment? Your hand is still up. Your mechanic.
No, I'm sorry.
All right.
Fine.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And before we go on, I just want to say, for the purpose of the people who are the public members of the public that are attending, I've got here in my hand 18 emails, long, eloquent emails from 15 different people. Every one of them is pro the rights of nature, not one word negative to that concept. I myself stayed up late and read all of these last night, and I believe I have responded to every one of them. And I want to thank the public so much for that. Okay. So let's go on about when we're going to meet next, because people have to leave, from what I understand. Everybody agrees, I assume, that we, as close as we are, that you want to meet again and get this thing done, right? Kyle had his hand up first. Kyle, what did you need? Nothing, Liz?
I think before we had lost Kyle earlier, we were honing in on any time after 2:30 on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Okay.
available then, so we were trying to see if who else that worked for.
Could we use 2:30? Is
Okay.
is who can't be here 2:30 on Thursday? Kyle, I know your thing, Bill, about medical, so you're out of this meeting. So unless we go into
Okay.
next week. So what about you, Kyle? When are you available?
Sunday works best for me. I know I heard some groans about that, but I'm traveling and I want to participate. I'm concerned about battery life. I'll be away from.
Yeah, we totally need you, Kyle.
Mr. Chair?
Jane.
Yeah, I'm prepared to have you guys go ahead with a Sunday meeting, and I'll absent myself, and I can share with Kyle any inputs, Kyle or Sharon, and I'm happy to also contribute some findings for the justice and equity stuff. And but I just cannot do the weekend for personal reasons.
Yeah.
So go ahead on the weekend if that works.
I understand. Go ahead, Liz.
So I can do Sunday.
Patty?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I can do Sunday. That's
I could
three
do
of us. You can? Wow. Okay.
Monday, yes.
Great. Sunday. Okay. So that's four of us.
We don't know about Sharon, and her notes do they mention what is she, Friday? She says she's available over the weekend. So
Okay. So what time? So that'd be five, right?
5 of us, yes.
Okay. So 5 of us would be in attendance, and we could get the other 2. We could give them the results of what we do and see how they want to vote. Yes, Jane.
I have a suggestion for you guys in advance of that meeting, though, and because I wonder if it wouldn't expedite things a bit, and that is if somebody took a shot at, drafting some of the findings based on the environment findings that have already been. Yeah, I don't know. Liz is putting her hand up.
I'm sorry, I have to go, so I just wanted to confirm the meeting, and then I'll need to.
Okay.
leave.
Time on Sunday, please. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, everybody. And even I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jane, I
and
apologize.
and we need to make sure that.
Hi,
okay.
Liz. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Liz. Okay, so where were Jane? Oh, Jane, you about the findings. We have a wonderful set of findings that the Climate and Environment Committee came up with. It's a couple pages long, and it's all about the problems, environmental problems, et cetera, here in this county. Could we take a look at those and see? I was thinking when I looked at them, I said, well, this is it. I was thinking we could save ourselves a lot of trouble by adopting those, but we don't want to do it if the people have problems with any of them, or if people have things that ought to be in and they're not in. I think your hand was up first, Kyle, and then Patty. Kyle.
Are we opposed to adding? I like them, but I think there's some additional findings.
No, not opposed to adding.
Okay.
No.
Okay, just checking.
No, adding or subtracting, whatever the committee wants. Patty.
That's what I was going to
Oh,
do too.
absolutely. Absolutely. I would say it would be very productive if between now and our meeting, you could take a look at those findings from that committee and then add or subtract whatever you want, including findings from other committees. Yes, Jane.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because trying to wrap that up by committee, those findings is going to be a monumental task. So I just think that there should be one person who's going to be the recipient of maybe any additions or recommendations, and then somebody wrap it up and share it out before the meeting. I just think that it's going to be very time
That's a cool
consuming
idea.
to try and do that in a committee.
That's a cool idea. If everybody would commit to do that, I would be glad to do it, or if somebody else wants to do it. Patty.
I was going to say, I can try doing that. I haven't, but I can make a document that we can then look at and pull from.
I would appreciate that. Yes, Bill.
I think as far as the environment is concerned, I think we ought to be in sync with it, with the CC&E committee.
Okay.
The same findings support both, and different findings causes questions. So I really think we need to integrate with that. I think we do have some things to add, some of which are in the comprehensive plan.
Well, here's what I say about that, Bill. I get what you're saying about it'd be good if they could be exactly the same given our charges. But if people, step one is for everybody to read that all the way through. That you may read it all the way through and go, hey, this has got everything. But you may say, no, we can't have that. And we do need to have this added. We are completely open, folks. We want this to reflect what you guys want for the findings. Yes, Patty.
I was going to say some of those emails we got from the public have things that could be used as findings also, and it's from the public, which makes it pretty strong.
And I'm all right here, 18 of them. Okay, Kyle,
Who's going to read the findings?
what do you mean? You mean once they're
Well,
produced?
come election time, I happen to agree that crossover is healthy and smart.
Yeah.
But I think it really the sway of the vote or how people actually source their their opinions on their vote will. I mean, let's do the findings certainly, but I just don't see people consuming them the way we're thinking. That's all.
Jane.
I might be taking the words out of Bill's mouth, but Randy certainly needs the findings from a legal perspective.
Sure, sure.
And so, yeah, I take your point, but they, for our Justice and Equity Committee work, they're pretty fundamental to sort of establishing the rationale for our proposed amendments. So, and I just wanted to remind you guys, you're going to need to have your sort of rationale for the preamble as well, right? So that's part of, you put a heck of a lot of work into developing that preamble. So you want to be able to, just capture the thinking you went through and what you landed on.
Thank you. Patty's going to be next. To me, the findings are what's the problem? That's the findings. What's the problem? Okay, Patty.
The findings are also for the commission. We don't know that the commission is going to vote to approve our amendment. So we want to convince the commission that this is worth it.
Absolutely. Yes, Kyle.
You could just call me Black Box from now. I think that's a better reference.
It's very James Bond. But go ahead.
I'm not. I get the findings. I'm not questioning the value of them, but the effort to try and make them parallel with climate and environment, I also see the value, but I don't know that they need to be purely reflective, because I think the audiences that the findings are mostly for, the prosecutor's office and our own CRC. I think we have the case is made, or it can be made.
Well, Bill, I mean, no, you're Bill. Bill's next, Kyle. The actually using the findings of the other committee, if we used them intact and didn't make any changes, that would entail the least amount of work. It would entail almost no work. But I mean, that is maybe a factor, but we want to get them right, obviously. So yeah, Bill.
They're absolutely necessary. The findings save the last CRC because the judge reads them. Every time there is a major policy change by a municipal corporation and in state statutes, you will find, not in the RCW, but you will find in the actual bill what justifies that action. This is particularly important where there are changes in the arrangements among the rights of people. There has to be a justification for it, or the judge will say, this is a random and irrational act.
Yeah.
It's imperative that we have them.
That's why I was so excited about the ones from climate and environment, because they dove right in there and described what the problem was that we're trying to solve. Yes, Black Box.
Thank you, Bill. I don't disagree. I think that's all the more reason to make sure that all of our findings reflect the whole spectrum that we've worked on, which is above climate and environment in many ways. It involves rights of nature. It involves, many other watersheds, literally and figuratively. So I'm not saying that we skimp on them at all. I'm just saying they're not to take just what C&E has. I'm sorry, just to take this climate and environment subcommittees and use those without adding would be a dramatic short sight. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think where we are, Kyle, is that we're going to take the ones from the other committee, and each person is going to look at them and either be blown away and say, hey, this is what we need, or no, we don't need that part, or we don't need any of it, or we need all of it plus this. You know, all of that will be good stuff to see. And Patty is going to do it for us. Yes, Patty.
I want to say I haven't read the whole thing from Climate and Environment. The first thing that struck me was, oh, this has got global warming all over it. It really pushes global warming. And I realized that there's a heck of a lot of people who still deny global warming, but who still might be wanting our nature and realizing that, hey, human activity is screwing it up, whether it's global warming that ends up being the problem or not. So I didn't want to take so much emphasis on global warming just so we wouldn't alienate that part of the electorate that sees it's only global warming when there's so much more to this issue than global warming. That's all.
Oh, tuck it in somewhere, but don't start off with global warming, you say.
It's just all over it.
Because global warming deniers aren't going to vote for us, I don't think. But go ahead, Bill. Bill.
I recognize the strong feelings of the many messages we've received and some of their points, but we have to pay attention to coming forward with the best science available. Because if all we are coming up with is strong feelings, no matter how strong and from how many people, that is not legal support. That's all
I think we need problems that are specific to our county. Now, that doesn't mean that our county does not suffer from problems that exist all across the globe, right? And so the global problems that are going to come down on us need to be included in this, I believe. But I also believe what you're saying, Bill, about science. Other hands up?
Bob, I'm driving to rejoin for a moment.
Oh, great. Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
So Bill, I do want to, I wanted to say that you have said to us on numerous occasions, I understand and respect your stance. And you've said to us on numerous occasions, if you don't like what I'm saying, I understand, vote me down. And I'm thinking that that's where we are, that we need to move ahead on what we're attempting to do it as tightly as we possibly can. But, you know, we just need to move ahead and create this document.
I think what you're saying is something I agree with, Liz, which is let's stop talking and create the document and vote, get it done. Okay, so everybody knows what the process is with the findings. We're all going to take the findings from Climate and Environment. Does everybody have those available? If anybody doesn't have them available, I have them and can send them to you. Just email me and I'll send them to you. Then we're going to look at those and we're going to send Patty our suggestions about what needs to be added to those and what needs to be subtracted. And that can go all the way from this one sentence to the whole thing is subtracted. So Patty's going to take that and bring us all of those suggestions when we come together on Sunday. And Sunday, our job will be to finish the rights document and then to do the findings document. Yes, Bill.
I have one request of you, Bob, and that is before the end, we meet again, please talk to Randy about the rights that you want to insert requiring the order. It's extremely important.
I'll do that if I can.
Back. I've shared it with people, and you know, Liz, I've said I recognize that feelings are strong. We use slightly different vocabularies. And I have to say personally that I sometimes feel I'll just watch this thing crash. It's not fun because people are getting ideas that really are going to hit the wall. And after the voters are going to see that. And then we will fail. And I want to make sure that we get through every wicket, not all of which are comfortable or all of which are our shape to fit through. They're difficult.
Thank you, Bill. What did we say Sunday? What time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. And how long are people willing to go?
2
Sure,
hours plus.
Can we set it from 1 to 3 and then just
Yes.
barrel through it, get her done, okay? Is everybody good with that? Okay, Jane.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bob. I'm disappointed I can't be there.
Me too.
But I want to just offer up on the issue of restorative justice. I think that's going to be one of your stickiest issues on Sunday. And I think it's, you guys are going to need to find compromise on that one,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's very complicated. And I think what Bill's recommending, Bob, in terms of that conversation with Randy is very important. And
Yeah.
and
I
I
have
also think that I am confused, and maybe Liz or somebody else can clarify for me how the restorative justice concept was adopted by the rights of nature people, but I don't understand that. And I just think restorative justice is a very delicate concept. And I think that it's whatever you articulate in that, it just be really just be mindful that it applies to things other than nature. So that's my appeal to you, and I put that in an email to you today. So thank you.
We
Mr.
cannot
Chair, I have-
mandate. Yes, go ahead. Who's,
I have 2 responses. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
okay, then Patty, you'll be next, all right? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Liz. We're listening, Liz.
Can't hear
Is
you.
anybody else getting anything from Liz? Sorry, Liz, not getting anything from you.
Give me just a second.
Okay, during that second,
Can you hear me now?
during that second, we're going to Patty.
Right
Patty,
here.
what do you got?
Right here.
Just
Patty?
one little comment. We need findings for our preamble also. Let's not forget our preamble.
Thank you, Patty. Go ahead, Liz.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, excellent. Jane, to your point, absolutely. I'm completely open to that conversation and the reworking of that language. No problem at all. And then I did want to mention earlier, Kyle had brought up about the awkwardness of the docs. I will commit to getting the doc as we changed it in this meeting out to everybody by end of day today.
Great. Thank you, Liz, so
Super.
much. So much.
Thank you, Liz.
Okay. By the way, I do have that thing that he mentioned, that Bill mentioned. I have an out for that. If we can maybe just decide not to bother to go to Randy and use my out, which is to change it to shall. And then we can indeed, I think it was Bill said it, also include those in the memo that we're sending to, that the whole commission is sending to the council, saying you should adopt these. In the end, we cannot adopt ordinances. We cannot adopt restorative justice ordinances, but the council may well be able to do that. And if they are, we've got to do what we can to make them do that. I think we have 2 possible arms to do that. One of them is our amendment, and the other is the climate commissioner and the climate department, and the pressure that could come from that individual. Okay, anything else? Everybody needs to send their comments to Patty in time for her to produce something about, I'm talking about the findings. And what I'm hearing about the actual document is that we're discarding the thing that I wrote up, except when you get down to the restorative justice part, there is a way. I have a suggestion of how to do it. We'll look at that when the time comes on Sunday. Did you have your hand up, Jane?
No, I was gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye now. See you Sunday, gang.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.